What has been the toughest thing about playing with LeBron James?
I wouldn't say any toughest.
That's the answer I was looking for.
Oh.
That's just the answer I was looking for right there. It's not tough. It should be easy to play with him.
When Luka Doncic sat down with Snoop Dogg for what looked like a chill conversation, nobody thought he'd casually drop a line that would shake up the entire NBA mindset. He was talking about LeBron James, giving him his flowers for lasting this long in the league, when suddenly Luka drops, "I might not be able to walk no more at 23 seasons," laughing a little. But deep down, you could tell he wasn't joking. That wasn't just a funny comment. That was Luka telling the world who he really is and how different his mentality is from most of today's players. While LeBron is out here celebrating year 23, Luka just told us exactly why he might never get there. And that's not a bad thing. In fact, it might be the most championship-minded statement any NBA player has made in years.
Just wants to be great, man. Just talk about his 23rd season. I said, I might not be able to walk no more at 23rd season, and he's still doing it at the best of the best.
And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Like you mentioned a little bit about today's game, because we had Club on here, and he talked about load management. He said, I don't know what the hell that is. Where is it going? And that's number one. And number two, how do we get it back?
Even for me, I love the NBA game. But then I turn on to a game, right? And then the stars are not playing because of load management. It's hurting the game.
So here's what went down. Snoop asked Luka what it's like playing with LeBron, and Luka gives the respectful answer you'd expect. He praises LeBron's work ethic, talks about how wild it is that he's still dominating after all these years. Pretty normal stuff, right? But then Luka adds that little comment about not being able to walk by year 23, and that's where everything changes. The way he says it, with that small grin but serious tone, you can feel it's not a joke. Luka knows what he's doing to his body night after night. He knows the cost, and he's perfectly fine paying that price if it means greatness. And when Snoop starts bringing up championships, Luka's real mindset shows. Snoop mentions Kobe and LeBron, and Luka's reply says it all. Kobe brought so many championships here. LeBron brought one. Did you catch that? He wasn't throwing shade as he was revealing his blueprint. That single line told you everything about who Luka studies, who he models himself after. It's not about lasting 20 years. It's about winning everything while you can. When Snoop starts spinning those Lakers rings, talking about bringing the magic back to LA, Luka doesn't start dreaming about playing into his 40s. He doesn't talk about longevity, recovery, or preserving his legs. He keeps it simple. Get that ring, that's it.
That's amazing to know that you had a relationship with Kobe Bryant and now you playing with LeBron James in the building that means so much to us in LA. Does any of that go through your head while you playing and on a mission for a championship, thinking about that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Kobe brought so many championships here. LeBron brought a championship here, so I want to be the next one to do it for sure. I met Kobe, I playing with LeBron just as a little kid in Slovenia. I just wanted to play basketball. Just wanted to touch the NBA, and now I'm playing with the best.
Even as a soon-to-be dad with a growing family, Luka's focus doesn't drift. It's all about championships, about legacy, about leaving no doubt. But here's where it gets real interesting, because Luka's current playing style, that full speed, no rest, all-in approach, is proving something that the modern NBA doesn't want to admit. There are two completely different roads to greatness in this league, and only one of them ends with multiple rings. On one side, you've got the longevity game, today's NBA philosophy. Protect the body, play smart, stretch your career, collect stats, stack records. That's LeBron's route. He's the best to ever do it that way. The man is 40 and still dropping buckets. He picks his spots, manages his minutes, takes breaks when needed, and he's earned that right. He's gonna own every single record in the book by the time he's done, no question about it. But on the other side, you got the old school mentality, the Jordan and Kobe mindset, the every game like it's your last attitude. No load management, no excuses, no skipping games just because it's a back-to-back. You give everything, every night until your body gives out. And that's what Luka's talking about. He's showing the world he's cut from that cloth, the type that's willing to sacrifice longevity for glory. That's not recklessness, that's obsession. It's hunger for greatness, pure and raw. And if his words to Snoop are any hint, Luka isn't here to just survive the NBA. He's here to dominate it, no matter how much it takes out of him. You play through pain that would bench most players. You grind through injuries that would make others quit. You give your whole body to the game, every bone, every muscle, every ounce of energy, all for one reason: to win championships. And here's the truth nobody likes to admit. This mindset destroys you physically, but it wins rings. Just look at the history books. Kobe Bryant played 20 seasons, and by the end, his body was begging for mercy. He tore his Achilles at 34, blew out his shoulder, dealt with knee pain, back pain, everything. By 37, he could barely move, yet he still walked away with 5 championship rings. 5 times he stood under the confetti, holding that Larry O'Brien trophy with pride. Every scar on his body told the story of sacrifice and obsession. Then you look at Michael Jordan, 15 seasons total with 2 retirements in between. He came back at 38, body worn down, knees stiff, hops gone, but his legacy, untouchable. 6 championships. 6 times he proved that when the lights were brightest, nobody could touch him. He didn't chase stats, he chased greatness. He risked everything for glory, and he won, again and again.
But you have to really play hard. Does that hurt you physically?
No, because when I play hard all the time. You know, there's no turn it on here, turn it off here. It's just 110% at all time.
We come to practice, he's on one leg. Like he was hurt the second year, he was on one leg the whole year and played 82 games. Wow. Like, and so he practiced every day and he played every game on one leg. And so you're like, man, MJ, why don't you just sit up? How can I be the leader of the team and sit out and y'all going through all the credit? I gotta be there.
I twisted my ankle and I had a teammate, David Greenwood. He says, you know, you twist your ankle, young fella, come over and sit with me. You know, this is, you need to. I said, no, man, I'm trying to make a name for myself. There's no way I can sit. You know, I need to get out there and show what I'm capable of. I want to play. I want to win. I want to make an impact.
Now compare that to LeBron James, year 23 and still built like a machine. No one's ever seen anything like it. The man's conditioning is insane. He's played more games than anyone, scored more points than anyone, broken record after record. His body, still elite. But when you look at the jewelry case, he's got 4 rings, 4 championships in 23 seasons, and that's after teaming up with multiple All-Stars, Hall of Famers, and super teams. So let's ask the question everyone avoids. What's really more impressive? Playing forever or winning it all while you can? Longevity or legacy? That's the debate right there.
I competed hard. I played the game the way it was supposed to be played. I played injured, and I played with a lot of pride. So I owe everything to the NBA.
Michael Jordan, the Magic Johnsons, Larry Bird, Charles Barkley's, we earned what we got. When the corporate America came to us, we had a game that could validate their admiration and
sponsorship and all that, yeah.
Now they get that before they play one game.
Yeah.
So you're rolling the dice to see if this kid's ever going to be good or not.
Yeah.
So in essence, you're paying the kid off of potential.
Yeah.
That he may be great.
You don't think that's good?
No, because I think it sets bad work ethic. When you get something so easily, you're not going to work as hard.
Now let's bring it back to Luka Doncic, because this season we got our answer about which path he's taking. And spoiler alert, he's not chasing LeBron's longevity plan. Luka's all in on the Kobe plan and sacrifice everything for greatness. He missed 18 games this season. Sounds bad at first, right? But here's what people don't realize. Every single missed game was from real injuries. No load management, no precautionary rest, none of that. 0 fake sit-outs. Luka went through it for real. A calf strain that should have sidelined him for weeks. A knee injury that had him limping down the court. And still, he suited up. He even left 1 game on crutches and came back early just to help his team. That's not normal. That's obsession. And get this, because of all that, he actually lost his MVP eligibility. The NBA's new rule says you got to play 65 games to qualify for MVP. It's meant to stop guys from resting too much. But Luka didn't sit for rest. He sat because his body broke down from playing too hard. He literally pushed himself out of the MVP race because he refused to let his team fight without him. That's wild. LeBron's never had that issue. He's a master at pacing himself, sits when he needs to, calculates every stretch of the schedule, plays the long game. That's smart, no doubt. But Luka? Luka's built different. He's the type who can't watch from the sidelines while his team battles without him. Even when they went 6-2 without him, proving they could survive, he rushed back because he couldn't stand not being in the fight. That's the Kobe mentality right there. That's what it looks like when a player values every war over the long-term war plan. Now here's where it gets controversial. Nobody knows yet if this approach is genius or self-destructive. Maybe in 10 years, Luka's body breaks down like Kobe's did. Maybe he burns out early. Or maybe, just maybe, he ends up with multiple rings while others are still padding stats and chasing milestones, because history shows one thing: the ones who go all in win more. Kobe's body gave out at 37, but he had 5. Jordan's knees couldn't take it anymore, but he left with 6. LeBron's body is still going strong, but he's stuck at 4. So which approach really builds a legacy? Preserving your body or giving it everything you've got while you can? That's the question fans keep dodging. And here's something a lot of people don't know. Luka met Kobe Bryant when he was just a kid. Before the fame, before the draft, before the world even knew his name. That meeting left a mark. You can see it every time Luka plays, every time he fights through pain, every time he pushes himself past his limit. It's that Mamba mentality living on through him, the kind that says, forget comfort, chase greatness. Luka crossed paths with the Black Mamba, and you can see that moment still lives in him. That brief encounter clearly left a mark, because when Luka talked about Lakers championships during that Snoop Dogg interview, his word choice said everything. Listen to what he actually said again. Kobe brought so many championships here. You know, LeBron brought a championship here. That tiny difference says a lot. Kobe brought many. LeBron brought 1. Luka could have easily said both brought championships. He could have kept it neutral, but he didn't. He separated them. And even more telling, he mentioned Kobe first. That's not a coincidence, that's respect, that's influence. That's a young star quietly showing who really shaped his mentality. Now, think back to Kobe's final season's pure warrior mode. The man played his last game with a torn rotator cuff. He went entire stretches with no lift in his legs, barely any cartilage left in his knees, and still dropped 60 points in his final game. He could barely move laterally, but he still suited up for 82 games some seasons because that's what champions did. No excuses, no skipping nights, no hiding behind load management. You played hurt because that's what leaders did. Your teammates and fans deserve that effort every single night. And here's what made Kobe truly different from LeBron in this department. His teammates saw him suffer for greatness. They watched him limp through games, tape up everything that could possibly be taped, and still dominate. They saw him push through injuries that should have ended his season, and that built a culture, a standard. When your best player plays through pain just to keep you in the fight, what excuse do you have? None. When your superstar is battling on one leg in the playoffs, nobody else dares complain about being tired. That's leadership through sacrifice. Now compare that to what LeBron's teammates see. They see him miss games when he's fully healthy because it's a tough back-to-back. They see him resting for the playoffs. They see load management days. That doesn't create the same fire. It doesn't build that no days off mentality. Kobe created something in Los Angeles that went beyond basketball. He built a code that said, you show up, you play hurt, you make no excuses, and you chase rings or die trying. That's why Kobe's teammates worshiped him. That's why they ran through walls for him. That's why he has 5 rings that no one can take away. Luka's comments about wanting to bring another championship to LA show. He understands that energy. He mentioned both Kobe and LeBron winning there, but if you watch the way Luka's built, his playing style, his mindset, his refusal to rest even when the NBA rules cost him MVP eligibility, it's crystal clear. Luka's following Kobe's blueprint, not LeBron's. Now here's where things get spicy, because what comes next might ruffle some feathers. But these are fair questions that need real answers. Let's start with the first one. If LeBron James had played with Kobe Bryant's mentality, would he have more than 4 rings right now? Think about it. LeBron's had insane talent around him. Dwyane Wade, Chris Bosh, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, Anthony Davis, stacked rosters with multiple Hall of Famers. He's had all the help anyone could ask for. But throughout his career, especially in recent years, he's taken plenty of rest nights and load management breaks. So what if he hadn't? What if he played all 82 games every single season like Kobe did? What if he pushed through the pain instead of sitting? Would he have 6 rings by now? 7? We'll never know. But it's a real conversation worth having, because while the longevity strategy gives you more years, does it actually increase your championships? LeBron's way has kept him healthy across 3 decades. That's impressive, no doubt. That's the longevity approach. Preserve the body, extend the career, keep competing. But here's the counterpoint. What's the point of more chances if you don't convert them at the same rate? Would you rather have 4 rings over 23 seasons, or 5 or 6 in 15, like the legends before him? And that leads to the second question. Is reaching year 23 really that impressive if you sat out 50-plus games along the way to get there? Sure, LeBron's going to hold every longevity record in the book. Most games, most minutes, most years in the league, and that's historic. But how many of those records would he still have if he played every game like Jordan and Kobe did? And even deeper, does it matter? Are those longevity records what we should actually celebrate, or are championship rings the only stat that truly defines greatness? Because if it's about legacy, not just numbers, then the math is simple. Kobe's 5 rings and Jordan's 6 are still standing taller than LeBron's 4. So the real debate isn't who lasted longer, it's who sacrificed more to win. And based on how Luka's moving, it's clear what side he's chosen. He's chasing that Mamba mentality, the kind that bleeds, breaks, and still refuses to quit until there's a trophy in his hands. Here's the third question, and this one cuts right to the core. What would Kobe Bryant say about load management? We actually already know the answer because Kobe spoke on it years before he passed. He didn't go on a rant or call players soft directly, but his stance was clear as day. He said he played hurt because he refused to let his teammates down. He said sitting out when you're capable of playing is disrespectful to the fans who pay to watch you. That was his entire philosophy. You show up no matter what. So imagine Kobe watching players today sitting out healthy just because it's the second night of a back-to-back. Imagine him hearing about load management protocols and scheduled rest days. We don't even need to guess his reaction. We already know what he'd say. He'd shake his head and call it what it is: weakness. And Luka, he knows that. That's exactly why he's out there limping through games instead of chilling on the bench. That's why he lost MVP eligibility. For playing too hard. He's following the Kobe code, not the modern preserve yourself playbook. He's showing every night that pain doesn't scare him. Missing opportunities does. Now here comes the fourth question. And this one's the most controversial of them all. Did the era matter? Because let's be real, in the 90s and 2000s, if you sat out games without a serious injury, people came for your head, you were labeled soft, your manhood got questioned. Fans, media, everyone would drag you for ducking the grind. That was the culture. Toughness was the currency. Fast forward to the 2010s and 2020s, and everything flipped. Now, if you don't rest strategically, people call you reckless or stupid. Analysts say you're shortening your career. Doctors preach body preservation like it's religion. So which era had it right? Which culture produced more killers? Which mentality actually led to more championships? Let's look at the scoreboard. The 90s had Jordan and the Bulls. 6 rings, all while playing every single game like it was war. The 2000s gave us Kobe and Shaq, then Kobe and Pau. 5 championships total, with Kobe battling through torn ligaments, broken fingers, and non-stop pain. That's dominance built on sacrifice. Now, the 2010s and 2020s, sure, there were winners. The Warriors with their motion offense and occasional rest days. The Raptors with Kawhi Leonard, who barely played half the season. The Bucks, the Nuggets. But none of them built dynasties like the Bulls or Lakers did. None of those stars reached mythical status like Jordan or Kobe. Maybe that's just coincidence. Or maybe it's proof that something about the refuse to sit mentality, that relentless grind, builds a different kind of greatness. Maybe the smart, play it safe approach wins battles, but the sacrifice, everything approach wins legends. Because legends aren't remembered for their efficiency. They're remembered for how much they gave. Now here's the fifth and final question, and it might be the most important of all. Does your superstar's approach to the regular season actually shape the team's championship culture? Because that's what this is really about. When LeBron sits out a game while healthy and his teammates see it, what does that tell them? It says it's okay to take nights off. It tells the locker room that preservation comes before passion. Now flip it. When Kobe's teammates saw him play through injuries, dragging his leg across the floor just to keep them in the game, what message did that send? It said, if I can do this, you have no excuse. That's how championship cultures are built, from the top down through example, not speeches. Now, I'm not saying one way is absolutely right or wrong. Both sides have logic. But these are questions worth asking, because what Luka's doing right now is giving us answers in real time. He's playing through pain, sacrificing awards, and flat out refusing to load manage. That's not just about toughness, that's a statement. That's him declaring exactly which path leads to championships in his mind. And here's why this matters so much for Lakers fans right now. Luka Doncic is just 25 years old, still young, but he's already pushing his body like a veteran in his final run. He's playing the same way Kobe did. Full throttle, no breaks, no shortcuts. He's not saving energy for a 20-year career. He's chasing banners now. He's made it clear that his mission is to bring another championship to Los Angeles. But here's the twist. That kind of fire comes with a clock. Luka's got maybe a 10-year window before his body starts to break down if he keeps this pace. That's not being negative. That's just history. Kobe's body began to give out around age 34. That Achilles tear was the turning point, the beginning of the decline. So if Luka follows that same all-gas, no-brakes blueprint, Lakers fans are looking at roughly a decade to maximize this run. 10 years to stack titles before the grind takes its toll. Sounds like a long time, but in NBA years, that's a blink. And look at the setup right now. The Lakers just landed Luka. They still have LeBron in year 23 and Anthony Davis healthy and dominant. The pieces are there, but the window, it's smaller than people realize. Because if Luka keeps sacrificing his body like this won't be a slow burn dynasty. This will be a flash fire era. Bright, intense, unforgettable, and short. And honestly, that might be exactly what Lakers fans want. A decade of pure chaos, greatness, and heart. Not stretched out longevity, but legendary dominance. The kind of run that burns forever in basketball history. Maybe Lakers fans don't want another player who's focused on making it to year 23. Maybe they're craving someone who's willing to leave everything on the floor, someone who'll play through pain, fight through exhaustion, and rebuild that Mamba mentality that once defined Los Angeles basketball. And right now, Luka Doncic is proving he's that guy. Just imagine if Luka stays healthy for the next 3 years, the Lakers could legitimately chase 3 straight championships. The talent's there, the systems there, and the hunger is undeniable. But it all depends on Luka continuing to play with that relentless edge, refusing to rest when his body aches, showing up for every big game, sacrificing himself for every win. That's the cost of greatness. If he ever switches gears and if he starts pacing himself like the modern stars do, yeah, maybe he extends his career, maybe he plays until his 40s. But the Lakers would lose that killer instinct. That sense of urgency that wins banners now. This is the trade-off every franchise faces. You want Kobe's mindset, you get Kobe's shorter prime. You want LeBron's longevity, you get fewer championships per decade. There's no way around it. And Luka, he's already made his decision. The only question left is whether Lakers fans are ready for what comes with it. Because when Luka said, I might not be able to walk by year 23, that wasn't a joke. It was a confession. He was revealing the price of greatness. The old school way. He was showing exactly which road he's chosen. And spoiler alert, it's not the modern cautious play until you're 45 route. Luka's following the Kobe path, the Jordan path, the sacrifice everything for championships path. He's walking in the footsteps of legends who burned out faster, but burned brighter than anyone else. LeBron James is going to retire with every longevity record in the book. More games, more points, more minutes, probably even 5 or 6 rings before it's all said and done. That's a legendary run, no doubt. But Kobe Bryant got 5 rings in fewer years and became a god in Los Angeles. Michael Jordan walked away with 6 in just 15 seasons and became the face of basketball itself. Their peaks didn't last forever, but that's exactly what made them immortal. They gave everything they had in their prime and changed the game forever. Now Luka's only 25, but he's already playing like a man with no fear of the crash. He's treating his body like it's disposable in pursuit of rings. And that's exactly what makes him terrifying for opponents and inspiring for fans. He's not chasing stats, he's chasing banners. He's not thinking about 20 years from now, he's thinking about next June. That's the Kobe blueprint, not the LeBron one. And based on everything we've seen, history, stats, legacy, the players who took Luka's route ended up with more rings, even if their careers were shorter. The math is simple. The all-in approach wins championships. So the real question isn't whether Luka's approach is right or wrong, it's what you value more as a fan. Do you want your superstar to play for 23 years, carefully managing minutes, strategically picking when to go full throttle? Or do you want him to give you everything right now, even if that means burning out by 35, leaving behind a trail of trophies and memories that last forever? Luka's already answered that question for himself. And if you're a Lakers fan, you better hope he doesn't change his mind, because the Kobe way might break his body before his mid-30s. But it's also the reason Los Angeles raised 5 banners in the first place. Right now, watching Luka refuse to load manage, watching him limp through pain and still dominate, watching him lose MVP eligibility because he played too hard, it's impossible not to see it. He's bringing back that fire, that obsession, that old school spirit that once ruled the Lakers. And maybe, just maybe, that's exactly what the city's been waiting for. A star who doesn't count seasons, just championships. That looks way more like the foundation of a future dynasty than a gamble gone wrong. The Lakers didn't just make a bold move, they made a statement. Luka Doncic isn't here to coast into year 23, he's here to build a legacy the hard way. So tell me in the comments, which path do you respect more? The player who preserves his body and plays into his 40s, stacking records and longevity stats, or the one who sacrifices everything, every muscle, every drop of sweat, to chase rings, even if it means walking away early? Because at the end of the day, both roads lead to greatness. They just define it differently. LeBron's way is about endurance, lasting long enough to rewrite history books. But Luka's path, that's about fire, burning bright enough to light up an era and leave behind banners instead of records. And if we're being real, the path Luka's walking right now has always led to more championship parades. If you're a Lakers fan, that's exactly what you should want. Rings, confetti, and unforgettable moments that define generations. If this hit home, make sure to drop a comment, hit that like button, share it with a real Hoops fan, and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories behind the headlines. Luka's journey is only just getting started, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. See you on the next one.